Good morning, students. So, today we are going to discuss the last topic of our third unit, classification of elements and periodicity in properties. Okay, so in this topic today, we are going to discuss about anomalous behavior of the elements, then diagonal relationship of the elements, and then we will discuss about periodic trends of chemical properties of the elements. Okay, now let us start first with periodicity of valency or oxidation states. For oxidation state we will discuss in detail in the next chapter. So here we are dealing with only valency. In place of valency actually we use word oxidation state nowadays. So let us stay on valency only. So what is valency? Valency is determined by the valence electrons. Okay, now when we talk about representative elements, what are representative elements? Those elements which belong to S or P blocks of the periodic table, they are called representative elements. Now when we talk about representative elements, then valence or valency is equal to the number of electrons in the outermost orbital, or if it is the number is more than 4, then till 4 this trend is followed. Means till 4, if number of valence electrons are till 4, then valency is equal to number of electrons, and for more than 4, what we do, we calculate it by 8 minus the number of valence electrons. Okay, now when we talk about representative elements, then we are talking about group 1, group 2 and group 13 to group 18. Okay, so if number of valence electrons we talk about, then there is presence of one valence electron in group 1, two valence electrons in group 2, and then it comes to 3 to 8 for group number 13 to 18. Okay, now depending on this number we calculate the valency. Okay, now if we take first group, then valency value is 1. Till 4 it is equal to the number of valence electrons. After that we calculate it by subtracting from 8. The number of valence electrons are subtracted by 8. So here the 15 group elements may show two types of valencies, 3 and 5. 16 group elements can also show 2 and 6. 17 group elements can also show 1 and 7. 18 group elements can also show 0 and 8. Okay, so this is on the basis of number of valence electrons. Okay, so in next chapter we are going to discuss in detail the oxidation state and how to determine the oxidation state. Okay, now one more topic which comes here is how to decide the formula of a compound, or what are the general formulae of the compounds formed by the combination of elements. Now if we take silicon and bromine, then silicon belongs to group 14. Okay, and bromine belongs to group 17. Group 17 is called halogen family. So group 14 element has a valency or valence of 4, and group 17 element has valency of 1. Okay, so what is the formula? One atom of silicon can share 4 electrons with 4 different atoms of bromine, and so it forms SiBr4 molecule. Okay, similarly if we talk about aluminium and sulfur, then aluminium belongs to group 13. Okay, and having valency 3. Similarly sulfur belongs to group 16 and have valency 2. Okay, so 2 atoms of aluminium will combine with the 3 atoms of sulfur, and then their valencies will be satisfied. Okay, so the compound formed will be Al2S3. Okay, now let us come to oxidation state of oxygen. to have a simple idea what oxidation state is. Oxidation state is the charge which an atom will have when it is removed from its molecule as ion. Okay, what is oxidation state? It is the charge which an atom appears to have when it is removed as ion from its molecule. Just like if we talk about Na2O molecule, then if we remove O as ion, then what will be the charge on this? That is called its oxidation state. Similarly, if we remove F from OF2 or O from OF2, then what is the charge on that? That is called its oxidation state in this molecule. Okay. Now, let us discuss one by one. First of all, let us take the molecule Na2O. If we talk about Na2O, then oxygen accepts 2 electrons, okay, one from each of the 2 sodium atoms. We know that sodium has 1 valence electron, okay. So oxygen has 6 valence electrons, and if it accepts 2 electrons, then its 8 electron will complete. Okay, now since it is accepting 2 electrons, so its oxidation state will be -2. Okay, and sodium is giving 1 electron, so its oxidation state will be +1. Okay, so this way we calculate. There are some rules in oxidation state. We will be discussing all the rules. Now let us talk about the second molecule. Second molecule is OF2. Now in case of OF2, fluorine belongs to 17th group and it has oxidation state value -1, because by gaining 1 electron it acquires noble gas configuration. Okay. Now in this case there are fluorine atoms in this molecule. Oxygen with outermost electronic configuration shares 2 electrons with fluorine atoms and thereby exhibits oxidation state of +2. Okay, so what happens in this case? Fluorine is more electronegative. Okay, so one rule is there. From that we can make it more clear that more electronegative atom will have negative charge, negative as oxidation state. Now fluorine is the most electronegative element of the periodic table. It is in this order, FON. We remember it like phone. So this is first most electronegative element, this is second most electronegative element, this is third most electronegative element. So F will have oxidation state of -1. Okay, and then when O is there, then if sum of the oxidation states of a neutral molecule is taken, then it must be 0. So it is only possible if we take oxidation state of O as +2, because F will have oxidation state of -1, and then only their sum of the oxidation states will be equal to 0. So oxidation state of oxygen in this case in OF2 molecule is +2. Okay. Now another topic comes, diagonal relationship. Okay. Now we know what is a diagonal. Okay. So the elements which lie diagonally in the periodic table, they possess similarity in properties and is termed as diagonal relationship. So similarity in properties of the diagonal elements is called diagonal relationship. Okay. Now if we see in the periodic table, then lithium and magnesium, they lie in the diagonal position. Similarly, beryllium and aluminium, they lie in the diagonal relationship. So they lie diagonally to each other, so they will be showing the similarity in properties. So this thing is known as diagonal relationship. Now question comes, why they show similarity in properties? Okay, now see, we have seen that in general, if a property increases in a group, then the same property decreases in the period. Now when we move in diagonal position like this, we move, then there is neither decrease nor increase, their properties remain almost same. So what is the cause of diagonal relationship? Similarity in periodic properties on moving diagonally in the periodic table. This is the cause of diagonal relationship. Now one more thing comes, it is anomalous behavior. Okay, so in general we are asked that first element of each group, it is in case of representative elements S block and P block. Okay, they show some properties which will be different from other group members. So the first element of each group shows similarity, shows some properties which are different from other group members. So this thing is termed as anomalous behavior. Okay, now the question arises, why this anomalous behavior is found, or we can say why representative elements, first element of all representative elements groups, they show this thing. The reason is these 5 properties. When we look at the first element of all representative element groups, then we find that they have these properties. The first element has smallest size in the group, it has high electron activity as compared to other elements, and there is absence of d orbital, and they have very high ionization enthalpy value, and they can form multiple bonds also. So because of these 5 properties which are not found in case of other group members, the first member of the periodic table, first member of the each group of representative elements possesses some properties which are different from other, and that is termed as anomalous behavior. Now let us see few examples. First is, maximum covalency of the first member of each group is 4. Okay, now for example, boron can only form BF4. We are talking about group 13. Okay, now other members of the group can expand their valence shell to accommodate more than 4 pairs of electrons. Just like, see, if I talk about boron family, then it is like this. Okay, it is like this: boron, aluminium, gallium, indium and thallium. Okay, so this shows anomalous behavior. Okay, why this shows anomalous behavior? Because here one example we have taken, that it can form a compound BF4 having power charge -1, but this can form AlF6 having charge 3 negative. Okay, so boron shows anomalous behavior. Okay, now let us take one more example. P block elements, they form multiple bonds, p pi multiple bonds. Now in 2 ways they form multiple bonds with atoms of same element as well as atoms of other elements. Okay, just like in this case, here we can see the multiple bonds are formed between the atoms, between the similar atoms. Carbon double bond carbon, carbon triple bond carbon, the atoms are same. Nitrogen double bond nitrogen, nitrogen triple bond nitrogen. So this is the tendency, this is the capability of p block elements. Okay, first element, this is maximum in case of first element. Similarly with other elements also they do it. Carbon and oxygen, carbon and nitrogen, carbon and nitrogen, nitrogen and oxygen. So this is the property which is shown maximum by first member of p block elements. So they show difference in properties from the other group members, which is called anomalous behavior. Now one important topic comes, nature of oxides. So you have learned what are oxides. In general, oxides are the compounds which are formed with the reaction with oxygen. Okay, oxides are those compounds which are formed by the reaction with oxygen by a particular element. Okay, now these oxides can be acidic oxides, basic oxides, neutral oxides or amphoteric oxides. Acidic oxides, you know, such oxide which can form acidic solution when dissolved in water. Basic oxide, you know, the oxide which when dissolved in water forms basic solution. Amphoteric oxide, you know, the oxide which shows both type of behavior, acidic nature also and basic nature also, that is called amphoteric oxide. Similarly, neutral means it will not form acidic or basic oxide, but it will give neutral solution if it is formed. Okay, now which element form which one? Now when we move in the periodic table in a period, then elements on two extremes, means when we start from in the period and at the starting of the period and at the ending of the period, those two corners, those elements which are present on the two extremes, they combine with oxygen and form oxides. Okay, now when we talk about extreme left, means we are talking about group 1 and group 2, then they will form oxides which will be termed as normal oxides. Normal oxides, or what we will say, oxide of metals. They show more metallic property, so they are oxides of metals, and oxides of metal are basic in nature. Similarly, those elements which are on the extreme right of the periodic table or on the end of the period, they when combined with oxygen, they form oxides which are called non-metallic oxides, and those non-metallic oxides show acidic nature. Now when we talk about middle elements, those elements which are present in the middle of the periodic table, okay, they will form either amphoteric oxides or they will form neutral oxides. Just like aluminium oxide, it is amphoteric in nature, and carbon monoxide or nitric oxide, they are neutral in nature. Now one more thing, we have discussed about metallic property. Okay, metallic property is the tendency of the element to form a positive ion by losing a electron. Okay, now if loss of electron is easiest, then we will say that it is more metallic. Now a reverse of this will be non-metallic property. Okay, now how can we say that something is non-metallic? It depends on its electronegativity value. If a particular substance is more electronegative, then we will say it is non-metallic in nature. So non-metallic character is directly proportional to electronegativity. Okay, now when we move in a period, the non-metallic property increases from left to right. Okay, non-metallic property increases from left to right. Now in a group, non-metallic property decreases from top to bottom. Moving in a group means we are moving like this. So non-metallic property decreases from top to bottom, and when we move this way, then in the periodic table, then non-metallic property increases. Okay, now in general we can see it again, that how the trends are, which side arrow is, that shows the increasing character. So when I am seeing this way and arrow is on that direction, then it means if I am moving from left to right, then electron gain enthalpy and ionization enthalpy, those values will increase. Now if I move this side, left side, from right to left, then atomic radius will increase. If I move from left to right in the periodic table in the period, then electronegativity value will increase. Okay, if I move from top to bottom in the periodic table, then atomic radius or size, that will increase. Okay, so this way we can see all these properties. Now whatever we have discussed today, on the basis of that you have to solve these home assignments. Okay, thank you.